Hey guys, sorry about that. So where we left off, we just found that our value that we needed to add to 0.404 was 0.596 in order to get a full 1. So when we did this, the 4 plus 6, that gave us a 0 because we got 10, carried the 1. 1 plus 9 gave us 10, so we carried the 1. 4 plus 1 gave us 5, plus 5 gave us 10, so we carried the 1, and then we didn't need to add anything there because we had the 1 carried over. So when you're working on these, you need to work from the right to the left to make sure of any of them carrying over values. So having that extra number in there. So our next one, we have 9.8765, and we want to get to 10. So we know our decimal is going to go here and here, and we're going to have zeros in all of these places. I know those zeros aren't very good, sorry. So what do we add to 5 to get to 10? We add 5. Carry the 1. What do we add? So we have 6 plus 1 is 7. So what do we need to add to 7 to get to 10? 3. So now we have another 10. We have 7 here plus 1, that's 8. What do we need to add to 8 to get to 10? That'd be 2. So we carry our 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. What do we need to add to 9 to get to 10? 1. Carry our 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. So that's what we needed. So we add 0 here. So 0.1235 is our answer for that one. So once again, working through, making all of those zeros and remembering to take and carry over. So that's one reason why I say actually do the workout, because my guess is at first glance you have been like, oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 to get there. But you have to remember, in order for all of these to be zeros down here, that means we got a 10 because we're adding. So that means we need to carry over that extra 10 to the next one. So it's not going to just be, okay, what do we add to this number to get to 0 without thinking about the numbers behind it. All right, so those were with adding. Now we're going to look at subtracting. So we have 0.7. We're subtracting something from it to get to 0.012. So once again, we're going to extend out our zeros. Now, with this, it takes a little more thought because we're subtracting instead of adding. If we were to subtract 0 minus something to get 2, we're going to have to borrow no matter what this is, because the only thing we can subtract here is 0 without having to borrow, and this isn't 0. So we borrow. That'll be a 6. This turns to 10, which we borrow from to get 9. So now we have 10. So 10 minus what is going to give us 2? 8. Okay, so now 9 minus what gives us 1? Also 8. And then 6 minus what number is going to give us 0? 0. Here's our decimal, and then we have a 0. So our answer here is 0.088. So like I said, with subtraction, it involves a little bit more work because you have to take and think about, okay, in order to subtract these things, I'm going to have to borrow and then figure out, and so it alters what that initial thought process is my guess for you guys. All right, for number 4, once again, always include your decimal. It makes, when you're subtracting and then we add these zeros, it's going to make things so much easier for you. So we need to get from 7 to 3.4567. So once again, we're going to have to borrow because that's the only way we can subtract. So all of that gets crossed off. That becomes a 6. So this is 10, but we had to borrow, so we make it 9. So that became 10. But we need to borrow, so it's a 9. So this can become 10. But we still need to borrow. So this is back to a 9, and this is now 10. So 10 minus what gives us 7? 3. And 9 minus what value gives us 6? Also 3. And 9 minus what value gives us 5? 4. And 9 minus what value gives us 4? 5. Now, notice decimal point. So our decimal point goes right there. Now, 6 minus what gives us 3? So there's our answer. 7 minus 3.5433 will give us 3.4567. All right, and the last one, we have 70 minus something gives us 0.0089. So we put our decimal place in here. We add our zeros. So now, once again, we're going to have to borrow. So cross these all out till we get to the whole number. We get a 6, so this is 10 because we borrowed, but we need to borrow for the next one, and the next one, and the next one. All right, so all of those are 9s because we had to borrow and keep moving up until we got to our 10 over here. So 10 minus what gives us 9? 1. 9 minus what value gives us 8? 1. 9 minus what value gives us 0? 9. 9 minus what value gives us 0? Once again, 9. 9 minus what value gives us 0? Another 9. And don't forget your decimal point in there. And then 6 minus what value is also going to give us 0, because notice we don't have the value here, so that should be 6. So if we take 70 and subtract 69.9911, we're going to get 0.0089. So there's been a lot of subtraction and adding with decimals in here, and working backwards, having the solution and having one of the numbers and having to figure out what the other number is. So your keyword for this lesson is decimals. Decimals. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Make sure you watch both parts of the video. So this is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, make sure you do so. It's the same keyword for both. All right. Have a great day, you guys.